White males and veterans not wanted for the Seattle Police Department. Quote, Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell issued guidelines in March 2023 instructing the Seattle Police Department to feature, quote, less white males and officers with a, quote, military bearing. Seattle Police Officers Guild President, Officer Mike Solon, is infuriated by the guidance. They are noting that when politics are intentionally inserted into public safety policing, we all lose. Seattle City Council passed a plan last year to prioritize applicants with, quote, diverse racial and immigration backgrounds. And diverse. No. That's not what that means. That means they want black people for officers, and that's all they want. No. They don't want Asians either, because Asians are white adjacent, you see. Maybe the Filipinos could squeak through. I'm not sure. Diverse racial and immigration backgrounds. Really, I cannot remember which state and city, which state it was, but I did read a news article this week, and yes, I did confirm I saw multiple sources reporting the same thing. I can't remember the state, but there is a state now that is allowing non-U.S. citizens that they describe as immigrants, I don't even know if their immigration status is legal or illegal, to become police officers. So we have non-U.S. citizens now in the position of arresting American citizens. But I'm a racist and I'm a xenophobe for having any questions about that, right? More on the Seattle Police Department. Seattle Police Department is comprised, I edited that to be correct. It's not is comprised of, it's composed of. Nearly 70% white members, which corresponds to the population of Seattle. According to policescorecard.org, Seattle Police Department's demographics align with the city of Seattle, so it's unclear why the mayor's office would want to adjust recruitment materials. Yes, I know, news writer, you have to say it's not clear, but it is, isn't it? The statistics shift when you look at people arrested and people killed. Then the data shows a racial disparity toward people who identify racially as black. The Seattle Police Department is under a federal oversight program because of what is claimed to be a demonstrated pattern of using excessive force. This is another thing I just don't believe anymore. Every time and I'm not an original researcher on this. I rely on what other researchers do, but I do follow up sources. I do actually at least spot check and go to some of the original sources and say, is what this writer's saying an accurate reflection of what this study shows? Does the arithmetic add up on this spreadsheet? And every single time I've gone down that road, when there is a claim that the police force is biased against black people and there are more arrests and they're charged with more crimes, the claim is that this is because of racism. And every single time, I don't see any evidence of racism. Do you know what I see? I see evidence of vastly disproportionate numbers of black people committing serious crimes. Criminals get arrested. It's not racist to arrest a criminal who robs a store because the criminal is black. I know I shouldn't have to say this, and I know it sounds so obvious, but we're living in a society that expects us to swallow and regurgitate this stuff. It is so ludicrous. What do we got here to end up with? Yeah, I got more on this. It exercises me so much. You see, this kind of stuff has never been about equality. It's never been about proportional representation by population, although activist groups claim that they simply want proportional representation. It's not about that. It's about being above and privileged. They don't want equality. They want to be power over. They want minority supremacy, not equality. And the fact is, there simply are not enough minorities today in America, in the era that we live in today, with a black culture that obtains in this society. We cannot have proportionate representation and have fully qualified police officers. And I am not saying that black people are incapable of doing any of these things. That is not the claim I'm making. This is the same thing as universities dumbing down admissions through affirmative action and claiming that all the minorities they let in under affirmative action had just as much potential, same quality academic background as any non-minority. It's not true. All you have to do is look at their test scores and see it isn't true. So again, no, I'm not saying black people, because they are black, are constitutionally incapable of being professional police officers. Of course, I'm not saying that. It's ridiculous. There are some people who say that. That it is true that there are some people who say that. They're a very small minority of people. The truth is that mainstream black culture today, 2023, in the 21st century, in this country, right now is producing uneducated, hostile to education, aggressive, lawless young people at far greater rates than any other population. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows it's true. Even the people who say it isn't true, the ones who scream and call you a racist, they know it's true in their guts. That's why they're so damned angry when you point it out. Black commentators like Glenn Loury acknowledge this. They know it's true. They say it out loud. And for that, black men like Glenn Loury, are called the black face of white supremacy, just like they pull that stuff with Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. And that brings us to the end of our show. Visit us at disaffectedpod.substack.com for our essays and our musings, or at subscribestar.com/disaffected for the same content. If you become a supporter at either place, you'll get access to our private Discord chat server and backstage recording events. If you're on Twitter, find us. We have the handle at disaffectedpod. And don't forget to subscribe to us on your podcast app. We release audio-only episodes, not just the audio version of this show, but standalone episodes that are audio-only. And we're back to doing again, so make sure you subscribe. This week, we put out part 2 of our conversation with Disaffected show friend Nick Lopez, where he talks about high-speed rail in the United States and its discontents. So, this has been Disaffected, which has not been brought to you by Hanna-Barbera Studios. See you next week.